Peace, 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 family. Your boy Treetop Chris checking in, and today we're going to talk about how we can improve your credit approval odds by 150%. Yes, 150%. You're pretty much guaranteed to get approved for credit funding. And if you stay to the end of the video, I'll give you a bank that you can try this out on, where you can end up getting a line of credit and a credit card with the same hard inquiry. Stay tuned. Okay, family, let's get right into it. Here's your list right here, and I put this together over, man, it's been a couple years. Part of what we do with my business is I provide funding to my clients, and this is the framework that we use, or at least like our clients to have before we go through a funding sequence with them. So basically, if you follow this, I have proven results by following this here. So let's start from the top. So it's 700 across the board on all three bureaus. Of course, you know you got to have a good credit score, but a few of these options you're probably not thinking about too much more than the norm. So you got two or more credit cards from major banks. So in another video, I'll talk about different banking tiers. But basically, major banks, you're talking about your Wells Fargo, your Chase, your Bank of America, the bigger banks. You want to have two or more credit cards from major banks. That's not credit cards like clothing stores, shopping like Target cards. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about big banks. So keep that in mind. Two or more major cards. And then you want a minimum of 2,500 to 5,000 on one or more cards. So if you got those two cards and one of those cards is over 2,500, you're doing good business. And just remember, when it comes to having, those limits, the higher your limit is, the more money you'll get. So the banks usually give you about 1.5 to 2 times the amount of your highest card. So if you got a $5,000 card, you're looking at getting 10,000 or 7,500 the next time. I know my math's a little off, but just know that the higher your card, the higher they'll approve you for in the long run. So number 3 would be the cards must be at least 2 years old. This is called credit seasoning. In our group, we call it credit gardening. So basically, when we set up an account with a new credit card, we like to garden. So basically, we'll water that relationship with the bank over time, make a couple payments here, make a couple charges there. If I can make a suggestion to everyone, you always want to use at least 1% of your credit card every 30 to 90 days. No longer than 90 days, at least use 1%. But in between that time, you want that card to be at least 2 years old. No late payments in the last 24 months. That's a no-brainer. If you get a late payment, you're trash. You're not responsible. Why should I give you my money? You suck, is what the banks are thinking. So, try to keep that in mind. No late payments. Don't play with your credit cards. Don't play with people. You want your cards to be paid on time. Next, 3 trade lines in total right here. 3 trade lines in total. Car notes, credit cards, mortgages, personal loans, anything like that. You just want to make sure that the banks know that you're good at paying people back. Now, you would think the no late payments is good enough, but no, they want to make sure that you have a variety of different credit products that you have worked with in the past. So they know that if it's a credit card, you were good with that. If it's a car payment, you were good with that. If you have a mortgage, that is outstanding. A lot of people don't have a mortgage, but if you do and you've been nurturing that, make sure your payments are on time, keep it up. Next, you want to have your utilization under 15%. Most people say under 30%. I say under 15% because this is what we do. We get funding for people. So if you're under that 15%, you should see your credit score skyrocket a little bit more. We actually tell our clients to have it between 0 and 10%. No more than 3 hard inquiries in the last 6 months. Now, the common misconception when it comes to credit inquiries is that you shouldn't have any inquiries, or too many inquiries is bad. It's not just a misconception, it's also true on the latter. And what I mean by that is, if you have 3 inquiries, that's not bad. But if there are 3 inquiries in the last 2 days or the last 6 months, that looks bad. You needed to wait until after the 6 months. They don't hurt you as much. Remember, hard inquiries only stay on your report for 2 years. But before that 2 years happens, you can still get credit if you have been waiting at least 6 months in between the time that you got your 3rd inquiry and the time that you got the rest. Now, I have clients who I've worked with who have 8 and sometimes even 20 inquiries, and they were able to get credit. So this is just a framework so you can increase your odds by a lot. Don't be one of those people. Just pay attention to the list. Next, no bankruptcies, no charge-offs, no collections. Simple stuff. Now, if you have any trouble with these, we do offer credit repair services outside of actually going and getting the funding for you. This framework will allow you to go out to the bank and do it for yourself. Now, just pay attention to this. If any of you want to have this checklist or download this checklist, just drop a comment, say, hey, checklist, or just simply type checklist, and I'll reach out to you, send you an email, and you can just have this on hand, use it. So before you go to a bank, you just pull out the checklist, boom, do I meet the requirements? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and apply, and you're going to get approved. So the bank that I'm about to show you all, using this framework, if you try it, when you get the credit, I want you to comment or shoot me a direct message on Instagram to let me know your approval odds, and let me know how much they gave you. Always apply for, I would say, around 10 to 20,000 at bare minimum, because if you get to 10 or 20,000, that's great. But if you don't, they'll give you a counter offer. And remember, so the lower your highest credit limit, the more closer you are to getting that credit limit. So if you got that 5,000, you ask for 10, they might give you 7,500. They might give you 10, especially if you have that 700 and the rest of the stuff, they might give you a whole 10, they might give you a whole 20. So let's cut to the bank that we're going to use with this metric and this kit that I'm giving you all. Okay, family, so now you have a full understanding of what you need to increase your credit approval odds. Remember, you can take that and go to the bank. I mean, any bank that you want to, and you will get approved. I guaranteed it. But today I'm going to talk about a specific bank, and this bank that I actually bank with is called Connecta Federal Credit Union. You can find them at connecta.org. Here's some of their products. They have credit cards, checking accounts. One of their credit cards, this is actually a credit card I have, is actually cashback rewards. They got a My Power card, My Plan card to rebuild your credit. And they also have business credit. I also have business credit card with them. You can compare cards. Let's just take a look at some of the cards. Say the My Perks Rewards card. Get $200 after spending $3,500 in the first 90 days. You don't have to spend the $3,500, but the main thing, you get 3% on gas, 2% cash back on groceries, 1% on everything else, and up to 20% annual bonus for your loyalty. Here's your interest rates. Remember, if you pay your cards before the statement date, you won't accrue interest. You got cell phone protection, car rental insurance, purchase assurance, satisfaction guarantees. It's a lot of good stuff here. They also have loans and lines. I actually have a credit card and a line of credit with them. It's a loans and lines. When you get a line of credit with them, they call it an overdraft protection line of credit. It's still the same as a line of credit. We talked about personal loans and lines of credit in a previous video, but they also have mortgages, mortgage information products, investments. They have business products for my business owners, but they're a great bank. But here's the play. Take the rubric. Do you match everything on your credit profile with the rubric? Okay, here's the bank. Now, before you go into the bank, we got to remember, always figure out where this bank pulls from. So you have to call them on the phone, and you talk to the loans department. Say, hey, I'm looking to open up an account with you guys. What credit bureau do you guys pull from? And they'll tell you, but I'll let you know right now. They pull Experian and TransUnion for me. So you can basically go and check if your Experian or your TransUnion is stronger, and lock the one that is the weakest. Now, if you follow the rubric to a T and all of your credit bureaus match or are close to the rubric that I gave you, you don't have to lock anything, because remember, your approval odds are through the roof. You've been working with Treetop Financial Group, and we gave you the sauce so you can automatically get approved. Now, you're on the phone with them. You can apply for a credit card online or on the phone. I always suggest to call them. Once you get approved for a credit card, within the 7 days of getting approved, you want to give them a call and say, hey, do you guys use the same inquiry for lines of credit if I was to apply for a line of credit? They'll say yes or no. In my particular circumstances, they say yes. That's a good thing. So now that you have a credit card, and they'll actually give you a line of credit under the same hard inquiry. Now, how much should you ask for? Remember, your highest limit is the lowest that you should go. So if you have a $5,000 credit card, you can apply for $5,000. I always tell people to go high, and if they deny you, they won't deny you and not give you anything. They'll deny you and they'll give you a lower amount. So if you apply for a $10,000 credit card and they say, hey, we can't give you 10 grand, we'll give you 7,500. You up 7,500. Now I always shoot for 20,000. I'm not gonna hold you. I always do 10 to 20,000, no matter what, because I know my odds are through the roof because I use the same metrics that I give you for myself and my clients when I go for funding. So it's really that simple, guys and gals. Follow the rubric, find a bank, call and see where they pull from, make sure everything matches up. Call or get a credit card, and if they allow you to use the same inquiry, get a line of credit too. And if you have a business, I would go for business credit cards first and then personal credit cards later, because the business credit cards allow you to hide your utilization. Okay, family, so you got a bank and you have the infinite credit hack list that I just showed you previously. So what you want to do is combine those, and you can use them at any bank. Remember, long as you follow the metrics and you check your credit reports, you'll be able to go to any bank and your credit approval odds will be through the roof. I know because I've done this for everyone that I work with when it comes to our funding rubrics. This is what we have at the bare minimum. Now, if you're afraid or you're kind of leery in regards to going for funding, we do offer funding services for everyone. Just click the link in my bio, the link in this video. If you want to have us do it for you, we can do our own investigation to make sure that your credit report lines up correctly with the bank. We already have a list of over 500 lenders. We know where they pull from. Your approval odds are always great when you're working with Treetop Financial Group. But again, it's your boy Treetop Chris checking in, and I hope you liked this video. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. It'll really help us out in getting out there in the YouTube world so people can see this information, because I know it'll help a lot of different people. Peace and love.